This is the GEPRC DarkStar22, and ostensibly at least, it's a Cinewhoop. It's in the roughly 2 to 3 inch prop size class with prop guards, and yet, if you were to put it side by side with what I think of as the original Cinewhoop, the Chendrone Squirt, you would barely recognize them. Cinewhoops have come a long way, and no longer are they just for slow, smooth cinematic flight. They also fly pretty hard, and these same prop guards that help you when you're flying slowly and smoothly close to an actor or an expensive vehicle, they also help when you're crashing outdoors, ripping around. So today we're going to take a look at the Chendrone's DarkStar22 and its smaller cousin, the Chendrone's DarkStar 1.6, and we're going to see just how far the state-of-the-art in Cinewhoops has come. I'm Joshua Bardwell, and you're going to learn something today. The first thing that jumps out at me about these quadcopters is just how refined the frame design has become. It used to be that a Cinewhoop was a traditional carbon fiber quadcopter frame with prop guards around the props. And then it evolved to be more plastic to the point where we had some that were almost completely plastic frames. And now I think we've kind of hit the ideal sweet spot. The frame has a solid carbon fiber plate here at the bottom, and this provides some rigidity and strength. And we can see that the motors are mounted to the carbon fiber frame. The motors are where a lot of the weight and a lot of the vibration and stress comes from, so having them securely mounted on carbon fiber makes the quadcopter more durable and flies better. And then we come up to the plastic part, which is the prop guard, and it's also got some integrated LED strips if you're into that. Looking to the inside, we can see that the flight controller is also mounted to the carbon fiber plate using standard screw and rubber gummies for vibration isolation. So far, what we've got looks a lot like a traditional quadcopter frame, carbon fiber plate with motor and flight controller mounted to it. And I think this is one of the hardest design choices a Cinewhoop designer has to make, which is where do you diverge from the traditional methods that are used on larger quadcopters designed for freestyle and racing. The Darkstar handles that decision by mounting the plastic prop guard using standoffs on the sides and these molded sections here in the front and the back. And if we look at the back, we've also got the XT30 molded in to help keep that restrained and help keep it from getting chopped by the props. Continuing upward, we've got this plastic top section, and I've had a love-hate relationship with molded plastic on drones. On larger drones that are going faster and are heavier, molded plastic just tends to break. Of course, it depends on what kind of plastic you've got. There's some that have very heavy nylon that can be more durable, but generally, I like the structural parts of the drone to be made from carbon fiber. On a quadcopter of this size, though, I think this is pretty doable. And although you can't feel this, this is pretty beefy plastic. This does not feel like just cheap plastic that's going to break the minute it takes a hit. So in this case, I suppose we can forgive the decision or maybe even compliment it because it does allow for pretty nicely integrated camera and VTX mounting. So the idea behind this frame design is that the motors and the flight controller are mounted on the bottom, and that's going to be consistent no matter what kind of video system you're using, but the video system is going to be different for different pilots. So you put the video system here in this top plastic part, and it makes it easy for different pilots to mount different video transmitters depending on what you're running. You can actually buy this with the DJI O4 Pro pre-installed, or you can buy a sort of naked version with no video system and mount it. And I like this because a lot of times on this style of frame, all the electronics are so integrated that if you wanted to roll your own, it would be pretty hard to fit your gear in there. You either get what they gave you or you have a lot of work to fit it in. In this case, they've done a very, very thoughtful design of the frame to give you the flexibility to mount whatever video transmitter you want in there. You can see they've got, I guess that's 20 millimeter mounting, whatever the standard is for the O4. I think it's 20 millimeters. And then we've got a pretty standard camera mounting here with screw holes, and whatever video system you're running, be it analog, Walksnail, HD0, it seems like it'd be pretty easy to work it into this frame. The plastic top is attached to the body using these vibration isolating bobbins. And this is a controversial choice. When these are used and the thing that they're mounted on is too heavy, then it rips off in a crash. I've seen this done successfully on various quadcopters of this size, and I feel pretty confident that this is going to be okay, although who knows how it's going to work as it sort of gets older and wears out. Maybe they'll start ripping out, and I guess, what are you going to do? I guess it's just going to pull on this one wire. Yeah, this is pretty smartly designed. Even the antennas mount up here. So if this does rip off for any reason, or if you need to remove it for maintenance, there's only one wire to unplug. Boom, the whole thing picks off. Shoot, you could even buy additional canopies and swap out the video system. I don't know why you would do that, but you certainly could. I should also point out that the drone comes with, yes, here it is, this tool in its bag of accessories. And this is a bobbin installation tool. This is used to help pull the bobbins through if you have to replace them. And I'm not even 100% sure how you use this, but it's nice that they included a tool to help you install the bobbins if you had to do that. Battery pad, we got to install this. Spare antennas. Oh, this is for the 1.6. Let's take a look at the 1.6 real quick. Here's the 1.6-inch version of the same thing, and you can certainly see the similarities in the DNA. We've got a solid carbon base plate with the flight controller mounted to it. We've got the same standoffs and similar assembly of the prop guards, and then we've got a similar mounting of the top. In this case, the flight controller is mounted just a little bit. I'm sorry, I meant the air unit. The air unit mounted on top. There's a little difference in that on the 2.2-inch, there is a molded receptacle on top. It's a little hard to see, but it's right down in there. And the idea is that you would put a GPS, a small GPS in there, and it would click in. And you would have a protected GPS unit. The GPS signals will go through the plastic, no problem, and it's going to be mounted on there if you want to do like return to home or something. Whereas here on the 1.6-inch, obviously you could just stick a GPS on there if you wanted to, but it's not going to be molded in. So there's not as much room above the air unit. The canopy on the 1.6-inch mounts to the frame the same as on the 2.2-inch with these vibration isolating bobbins. And the idea is that that's going to give you better stabilization with the 04 camera or just less jello. We'll test that when we go fly it. The camera mount is very similar. It's got two screws, only two screws I see here. There's no center screw. And we have no up tilt. We're going to want to... Is this just like to protect the camera, or is that just decorative? Let's just adjust the up tilt here slightly. Comes with a flat up tilt. Yeah, there we go. Get a little up tilt on there. A little give. Get a little. Ooh, yeah. So you may have an issue mounting some cameras because the screw hole spacing for the 04 camera is not the same as the screw hole spacing on like traditional analog cameras or walk snail cameras. The 04 has wider spacing between the screw holes. I'm not sure how you could always just like drill a hole. I mean, it's just plastic. Whereas this guy does have a center hole here, so you could mount some other cameras. Interesting. Just to illustrate my point, here is a spare canopy that came with the 1.6. And if we got just a standard analog camera, like how are you going to mount that? You're going to put the screw down here? That's not going to work. You're going to put it up here? That's not going to work. I would just like drill a hole. But that's funny that they make you do that. The other format that cameras typically have is this two-hole method as shown on this Cadix camera. And again, yes, there are two holes, but you can clearly see the spacing is different, right? So it sure seems like this canopy is meant to mount the 04 and like only the 04? That's weird. I thought maybe if we looked at the non-DJI version, the one where you provide your own video transmitter, it would have a different mounting format for the camera mounting holes. But no, it doesn't. We can look right here and see that they're exactly the same. We do have the center one on the 2.2, which will work for some cameras, and the same on the 1.6. So if you want to mount a traditional analog camera or a walk snail camera, I think you're going to be getting your drill out. That's a shame. What the heck? Get it, PV? That's weird. The reason we had spare DJI antennas in this accessory kit is that the 1.6-inch version comes with these little dipole antennas pre-installed. And although these antennas seem like they would have worse performance than the, like, I don't know, something about this kind of antenna makes me think, oh, that's good. That's a good antenna. And this, it's just a little piece of wire. How good could it be? But people get actually pretty good performance on these antennas. In fact, I've had one person tell me that he got better performance with these dipole antennas, not these exact dipole antennas, but dipole antennas, than the stock ones that come on the DJI. So don't assume that you're giving up much in terms of performance to add weight and, I suppose, durability. These are probably going to be more durable than the ones with the plastic shell. GEPRC does provide you with the factory antennas if you want to swap them out, though. You also get, in the kit, a spare prop guard, and, as I showed you before, spare canopy. I assume this is standard, and they didn't just send this to me because I'm a YouTuber. And the prop guard is pretty durable, honestly. I mean, we'll find out when we start crashing it just how durable it really is, but overall, I think this is, like, they've found the sweet spot between being too thick and heavy and not really stiff enough to make a difference. This is really good. This is great. I'm really enchanted with this, like, comic book style, anime style safety warnings inside the box. That's cute. What drone is this? Oh, these are all different GEPRC drones. That's adorable. Adorable. Motors on the 1.6 inch are 1003 in size and 14,800 kV, paired with a 4-blade 1.6 inch prop. And on the 2.2 inch, we have 1104 motors at 7,500 kV. The 1.6 inch is spec'd for a 2S battery. The 2.2 inch is spec'd for a 3S battery. Speaking of batteries, the battery mounts with a traditional strap on the bottom of the 2.2 inch. And don't forget to install the battery pad. It is a nice die cut or laser cut, probably die cut because rubber doesn't do too well with lasers. It's a nice cut battery pad that fits the outline of the frame. Doesn't feel that grippy, but it's a little bit grippy, and hopefully it'd be nice if this battery strap was also grippy, but we'll see if the battery ejects on a crash. Hopefully it'll be okay. I also noticed as I'm going through the accessories looking for the battery pad, I found this, and I am incredibly annoyed. Not quite enraged, but just so, mostly just disappointed. You were doing so good, GEPRC. This is the USB connector for the flight controller. And I hate when they do this. I hate it. Because, okay, so fine. Where do I plug this in? I plug it in here, presumably, right? I guess so. It's so annoying when I'm trying to configure my drone that I have to, number one, find this damn thing, which I surely have lost, because I've got this one for my GEPRC drones, and I've got another one for my BETAFPV drones, and I've got another one, I've got like 5 of these things laying around, and even if I can find them, because I've carefully put them all in one place, now I have to dig through the pile and go, I don't know which one goes with which drone. So what, am I going to write GEPRC on this? Does it say GEPRC on it anywhere? Anyway, I got to find it, I got to plug it in, I got to unplug it when I go to fly. Just give me a goddamn USB connector. And I know what GEPRC is saying right now. Well, where do you want me to put it, Bardwell? Like, you're gonna if I put it here, you would be complaining that you couldn't plug the USB port in because it's all in the way. Yeah, I would be. I just complain. I don't create solutions. I only complain about the things I don't like that you did. I don't know. Like, you could have it vertical sometimes. It comes out, then it's coming out through the frame. I don't know, man. I don't know. But this is annoying because I'm going to freaking lose this, and then I'm not going to be able to configure my freaking quad. So, you figure out the solutions. I'm not an engineer. I'm a reviewer. I complain. Or sometimes compliment. I've given you a lot of compliments. You've done a lot of things right. This drives me freaking crazy. What am I going to do? Am I going to just leave it? That's what I do. Where am I going to leave it? Tie it right here with some double-sided sticky tape. There, I solved it. I fixed your problem. That's what you should have done. Right here, maybe next to the XT30. I don't know exactly, but like, you could have just run a wire. Dunk, put it in a 3D print or something. I don't know. So annoying. At least give me a place to put it so I don't lose it. That's what I would do. Probably. I would make this just a little thicker, and I would run this up the inside like that. Maybe, I'm just off the dome. Maybe there's a reason that's not a good idea either. I don't know. But this is so annoying. Oh, yeah, you did it on this one. You did it on the 1.6. This is fine. This is fine. I have no problem with this. Why is it a micro? Why is it a USB micro? What is wrong with you? Do they not make 90-degree USB-Cs? Why is it a micro? Oh my God. I'm not sure that's worse or better. A USB micro, jeez. Is this a different flight controller? Why don't they have the same flight controller? Weird. Probably a good reason. Oh, what flight controller do they have? As far as the flight controllers, both of these guys have the GEPRC Taker all-in-one. The 1.6-inch has the F411 version with 12 amp ESCs. The 2.2-inch has a F405 version with a 20 amp ESC for the bigger motors, and both of them come with Express LRS 2.4 gigahertz built in. That Express LRS receiver is a serial-based receiver, not an SPI-based receiver, and if you don't know what the difference is, serial is really the one you want. It means that it's going to work just like an Express LRS receiver. If it was a separate receiver, you can update it via Wi-Fi, you can flash it, you can do everything you need to do, and you're not going to have a link between the Betaflight version and the Express LRS version like you do with SPI-based receivers. Let's check the weight before we take them out and fly. The 1.6-inch comes in at 84 grams, whereas the 2.2-inch comes in at 128 grams. That's without battery, so it's going to be a little heavier with battery. And I don't know. Well, considering we've got the 04 air unit in here, that's adding some weight. The ultimate test is going to be when we take them out and fly them, which we're just about to do. And I think we're going to start with the 2.2, the 2.2-inch prop version. I think this one is going to fly the best. I think it's going to carry the weight of the 04 Pro the best, and it's going to make the most of the outdoor environment that I am more likely to fly in. Then we'll go down to the 1.6 and see how it holds up. 50 milliamp hour 3S batteries. These are not the batteries that GEPRC recommends. They recommend a 750-ish, I don't remember, 770, something like that, in the mid 700s. So we're getting a little bit shorter flight time and a little bit more agility due to the lighter weight. These are the batteries I use on my tiny trainers, and I just happen to have them and didn't want to wait for the shipping time to get the actual GEPRC batteries from China. Let's see, what are we looking for first off out the bat? How is the power? So that's a full throttle right there. It's, you know, I don't know what you're expecting from this kind of drone. Like, it's not like a ridiculously powerful, but it's got decent speed. Oh, a little jerk there. Did I hit something? It's pretty maneuverable. I'm really enjoying how it handles in the turns. There's no like slidiness, or we have to ignore that RSSI low warning. That's because I have the output power on my Express LRS transmitter turned down, because I don't want you guys to hear the fan on my, so I'll have to turn that warning off. It flies really good. I'm really liking how it flies. I'm not hearing any prop wash oscillation as I go through turns. I haven't done any ridiculously sharp turns, but, you know, going through something like that, it just stays completely composed. That's really impressive. I'm really impressed. There was a little bit of prop wash, a little shudder there as I dove into the turn. Could use maybe a little more up tilt if I'm going to fly like this. This thing flies great for a little 2.2-inch with prop guards. I'm going to kill this battery because I'm going to forget. I'm going to have so much fun flying, I'm going to forget to look at my battery. No problem, like dropping down in from high. Like off throttle and on, no problem with the weight. So like it's got plenty of power for its weight. Again, just a reminder that we are on a 550 instead of a 750 battery, so it's a little bit lighter than it would be. No complaint about the flight time, honestly. So we've been flying for 2 minutes 26. It's not like a long time, but like I'm having a good old time here. Whee! 3.4, low battery. Wow. Ah, this is all right. Oh, okay. Felt some sag there. Had to get on a little extra throttle to catch myself at the bottom. 3, 2. Okay, we're done. We're done. We're done. We're done. We're done. Land now. Land now. Land now. This battery's hanging in real good. That was 3 minutes and 9 seconds of flight time. That was not like the most hardest ripping, but it was not really sedate flying either. So 3 minutes on that battery, you probably get 4.5 minutes of that type of flying on a 750. That was a, high volt. It was a high volt. Are these 550s high volts? 550. Huh. I gotta do some research. Hold on. Nowhere does it say that this is a high volt. 3S1P 11.1 volts. Okay, what is the weight of this pack? 46 grams. Okay, now, GEPRC 3S750 mAh. Oh God, I gotta unplug the battery. I'm killing this battery, damn it. So actually, this battery is way more of a fair comparison to the 720 milliamp hour that GEPRC recommends, because this is not a high volt. So basically, when you make a high volt battery, you take a 550 milliamp hour and you overcharge it to 4.35 volts per cell, and now you get 720 milliamp hours out of it. Not quite, the math doesn't quite work out, but the fact that the weight of this battery is almost the same as the weight of the GEPRC that the quad is supposed to have means that it's actually a pretty fair comparison, because I overcharged this to 435. It's not rated for that, but you can do it. It won't like just light up. It's not good for it, but basically that was actually a pretty fair comparison. Technically, it would only be fully fair if we bought the actual battery GEPRC recommends, but I feel like that was a way more fair comparison than I originally thought it was going to be. I got to go get this one back on the charger and hope I didn't just permanently kill it. Hold on. On the second pack, I think it's time for me to try a little harder to break it, and I was going to put some up tilt on it, but it actually is already at the maximum up tilt that it can have. That's it. That's all you get. Looks like about 20 degrees, maybe 25 I would eyeball. Yeah. Oh well. I mean, it's not a racing drone, you know, so it's fine. I don't fly anything like a Cinewhoop, do I? I'm gonna turn the output power up so we don't get that stupid warning. You guys are gonna hear the fan on my radio potentially. Oh, okay, well. Oh, where's my disarm switch? It's definitely a Cinewhoop if it does that. What has happened to the camera? No shit. Okay, good. Camera's fine. Woohoo! I thought I broke the camera there for a minute. Will she fly? She will fly. She's fine. This thing flies great. Little slide there. Storage full. Oh, onboard storage is full. That's about all you get of 4K without putting an SD card in it. I mean, I got no complaints. And obviously, the DJI Air unit is giving me no problems in terms of range and penetration. We're not even talking about that because we just know how good it is. Like, it's a known quantity. Either you have it or you don't, and that's that. I'm really trying to push myself to the point that I bash into something, but I'm just such a good pilot, it's not happening. There we go, there we go. Nothing, it's fine. There we go, battery's starting to get low. There it was, nice hit. And disconnected. Connection failed. Okay. Let's see what harm we did. Oh, probably not. I don't know. It's literally fine in every way. Is a prop crooked? I don't even think I see a little bit of scuff marks on one of these props, maybe from when I turtle moded. Oh no, something's rubbing. What's rubbing? Oh, there we go. I do. It's right here. It's right here. Got a prop rubbing. Is that because the prop bent? Or is that, it's not because this is out of place. It's not because the, yeah, right here, we got a prop rubbing. That's because that prop got bent. Oh yeah, the prop did get bent. The prop's bent out of shape a little bit. Easy enough to fix. So that is one downside of this type of prop guard that Cinewhoops have evolved. Cinewhoops, is this really, what even is a Cinewhoop? This type of prop guard, it's not perfectly protective of the props, especially if you're crashing in an uneven surface with like sticks and stuff. The props can get bent. It's better to get hit with this. Maybe if you like go up against a wall or something, it'll protect the wall, or if you tap a person, it'll protect them. But like, you can still get the props. They're not perfectly protected, but it flies a whole frick of a lot better than that old style where we had big fat ducts and they all flew like crap. Let's see, this antenna got pushed in a little bit. No real harm done though. Kind of like to push those antennas in anyway, just so that they, yeah. We did pop a bobbin. I knew it. We did pop a bobbin. Look right there. It popped out. And I'm not mad about that, but I did know it was going to happen. Or so, oh, we didn't just pop it, we tore it. That's worse. So we ripped that bobbin. And that means I can't fly this again until I replace that bobbin. And that means if it's going to tear in that relatively easy of a crash, I mean, like, that's not like the easiest crash in the world, but also people crash way freaking harder than that, right? So if it's going to tear off in that relatively easy of a crash, I would want to have a handful of bobbins with me anytime I was flying, if I was going to fly moderately aggressively like I was there. If you're just going to do slow Cinewhoopy style stuff, then that's a different story. Maybe it'll probably be okay, I guess. You're probably not going to crash much. Damn, I guess this guy is out of commission for now. I guess that means it's time to go to the 1.6 inch. I have moved the camera because the sun is chasing me across the porch and I would like to stay in the shadow. It's so warm. It's so warm. It's 56 degrees here in December. Yeah. Don't move to Tennessee, it sucks here. We're gonna fly the 1.6 inch now. For the record, we are flying it with the BETAFPV Lava 550 milliamp hour high volt. This is a fantastic freaking battery. I flew it in my review of the PAVO PICO II, I believe, and I just got great flight times and great results from it. Again, it is not technically the battery that GEPRC recommends, although it is much closer in specs than the 3S that I was flying on the other drone. Here we go. Oh yeah, oh, that's a 1.6 inch, all right. Those are full throttle punches, so that's like how much power we've got. We've got a lot less up tilt and a lot less speed. I'm immediately having much less fun. I'll tell you what, let's play to its strengths. Let's like do some like tighter stuff. Like smaller drones go smaller places, right? Good control, good precise control is what we want. Just got some obstacles to fly through though. Oh, here we go. Right through, right through, right through. Oh no, no. Bad. Okay, that was not good flying. Okay. You can get a little speed, but it's not as enjoyable as the 2.2 for sure. It definitely flies like a 1.6, like a small drone. Oh, let's see, 2 minutes 40. We're hitting the 3.5 threshold already. 3.5, 3.4, low bat. 3.5. Okay, that's where I would normally bring it in. That's about what I expected from a 1.6 inch with the 04 Pro on it. Let's try to fly it more aggressively though. Let's just see what happens when you push it, and also see if we can crash it to get a little bit of a durability test. I'm having trouble with the cornering. I'm not sure what's going on. The rates have to be the same, I would think. Got a little shudder here. I don't know where that's coming from. Yeah, corner's really bad. It's slidey. Like, it's really hard to find the sweet spot. There we go. Around that corner. There it is. I found it. Okay, I'm starting to get a feel for it. Yep, sagging out there. Okay, I'm starting to get the feel for it. Battery is already dying 1 minute in. It's just not shaking in the dive. I'm not going to be able to crash it because I'm not going to run out of battery before I crash it. Yeah, no, that's just not what it's for. That's just not what it's for. Final word on these drones. The 1.6 flies about like I expect from a 1.6 inch drone with an 04 Pro on it. My official position has been that a drone this small really should have the 04 Lite, and then they fly fine. If you need the 04 Pro and you need it to be in a size package this small, this does about as good as you could expect, but it doesn't do that great. The flight time is relatively short, and you just can't do much with it short of just fly slowly and smoothly, which it's fine at. The 2.2 inch I like a lot. It can do smooth stuff. It can do faster, aggressive, freestyle-y stuff. The prop guards do a reasonably good job protecting the props. My only biggest complaint is the way that the bobbins rip off. I wonder what it would be like if I hard mounted this, like with standoffs and screws, and made it kind of like the freestyle version. I would get more vibration in the camera. I wonder if it would be acceptable though if I wanted something. I think this could be a fun little freestyle drone for sure. Both of these are linked down below in the video description, and those links are affiliate links. It means a lot to me when you go down and click those links because I get a little commission anytime you make a purchase at that store. Whatever you buy, if you got there by clicking one of my affiliate links, I get a commission. It's a very, very simple way for you to support the channel. Don't want to join my Patreon? Don't want to subscribe to my channel? Don't want to all the other things I ask you to do? I don't really ask you to do a lot, do I? You can just use those affiliate links, click the link, go do your shopping. They're linked down below. I think you should check out a video I just did about the BETAFPV PAVO PICO II drones. What was the second one? I don't even remember what the second one was. BETAFPV's new PAVO PICO, which is a drone in this similar size class with the 04 Lite in it. And I think you should see how much better it flies, although there's downsides to the 04 Lite as well. I'm going to put a card on screen with a link to that video, as well as a link in the video description below. I will see you there.